WarsawJS, and I hope not to mess it up. But yeah, as you can see, the topic of today presentation is AI-powered algorithmic composition and sound design. So yeah, AI. I think music production is one of the most affected areas by AI. First of all, like probably all of you heard about this developed models, text to audio models, right? Suno, for example, it's like really advanced, and you can create like different things just like in a couple of minutes. For example, me as well, I don't know how to debug things, so I just decided, okay, if I have some logs, then I would just like play them, maybe like this. Should play. Let me break this. It's a really nice song. Can you hear it? No. Okay, never mind. It's supposed to work, but again, yeah. You can see there's an error, definitely. Anyway, so as I said, text to audio models, they're really powerful. And but today we're not going to talk about these models, and instead we will go through some basic of sound production, and we'll also touch a bit how to create music with code. And talking about AI, we'll try to see how we can leverage LLMs, not just like, hey, create some music for me, just put in some text, but actually how we can use it as our partner during live coding, and hopefully it will work this time. Anyway, yeah, just kind of short introduction. If you check the modern music production, it's heavily based on the digital audio workstations. This kind of software, which is also called DAW. Basically, I guess like all electronic music is made within this kind of software. And as you can see, this software provides really nice interface, kind of analog looking like, different knobs and sliders, etc. And they allow you to build sound and to build sound and music. And in order to build music, you need some building blocks. And there are actually, I guess, like two main techniques that you can use. First of which is actually sampling. And it's like an example of this approach. Where's sound? Oh. Yeah.
Did you choose the right source of the sound?
Yeah, is
Maybe in MacBook you
Yes.
need to select the sound.
We just need some quick debugging. And
a little longer than a few minutes later.
oh, okay. That's supposed to work like this. And now I know what to do because I had some stuff that actually should give me a second. Yeah. Okay, what I was talking about? I was talking about sampling. Yeah, you can see like you can use samples to create new songs. And or like change existing ones. So you basically take like some chops of vocals, like drum loops, whatever. You just crop them. You can place them in different way, and you create something new. Basically, the whole hip hop industry kind of was built on top of this approach. But the second one, and I think it's like more power and more like freedom to you. It's a sound engineer. Is basically sound synthesis. Where you can basically, apologies, I enabled here. You can create sound from scratch, basically, right? Having some voltage, or like in a digital form, it's like some kind of sound. You can create different forms and build up different effects on top of it, which kind of provides interesting results. But I guess we should. Yes. Okay, that should be fine. Nice. Thank you. So yeah, and as I said, it provides a lot of possibilities, and inside sound synthesis, there are like many different approaches which we can use. Probably one of the first worth mentioning is actually additive synthesis, which basically you have multiple sine waves, you combine them together, and you make some sound. In theory, you can create literally any sound by combining sine waves, but it's not that practical. It's computationally heavy, and it's pretty like limited in this approach. There's another one which works in opposite way. We have like subtractive synthesis. By the way, this should sound. Yeah, we have a bunch of waves. This sound would sound this way. Thank you. Not very interesting. As I mentioned, we can take a different approach and start from more rich sound and basically subtract the things or frequencies that we don't need. And for that, we will use filters. We can actually mix different waveforms. And to talk about richness of the sound, we can also just kind of play and see the difference between the basic sine waves. Yeah, this is sine wave. Yeah, you can hear like different waveforms have different like amount of harmonics, and they sound like, for example, sine is pretty, let's say, like basic. It doesn't have anything inside it. But for example, using sawtools, we can create more interesting things. And let's maybe actually do something, create something. And as we saw, currently, like DOS is like kind of way to go to do sound design, but again, this is just knobs under the hood. There's still like some code which operates on a digital form of the sound. But can we use code as an interface for sound design? And it seems like we can. And here I would like to introduce you Super Collider. This is great language. First of all, this is programming language. It's not JavaScript right here. It's not just programming languages, but just an environment which includes a separate IDE, and it works on a client, like it has like client-server architecture, and you can write some code in an editor, send messages to the server using Open Sound Control Protocol, which is pretty powerful. And yeah, then server would do the heavy lifting and produce some sound for you. And right now, maybe let's focus on the Super Collider code. For today, I'll be using, first of all, let's see what we will try to do right now. I would try to recreate Reese bass sound. It's kind of this kind of wobbling, I don't know, kind of aggressive bass sound. It's heavily used in drum and bass, and there are different approaches how to create this sound, but we will try to apply subtractive synthesis here. And I already have my editor set up here. And again, I'm not using Super Collider IDE. I'm using a tool called Flock. It's running on locally on my machine, but it's a powerful tool because I think it's the most popular in terms of live coding of sound and visuals. And the benefit of using it is that you can actually create multiple panes. I mean, like windows inside this editor. You can pick the language you want, and you actually can invite your friends to work together on the same live session. So here is Strudel code. I will talk about Strudel a bit later. Yeah, and right now we're just playing some like 4 MIDI notes using basic. Right now it's basic sine wave. Let me just maybe to increase a little bit. So you can hear it's not really like, it's just really basic. And I use sine wave as a sub in order to add some low frequencies here, but we can mix it with some harmonics here. I will not be doing live coding. I will be doing live uncommenting because there's a lot of things, and I don't want to spend like the whole evening for this. But we can start mixing some harmonics to this. Let me just check where is the exact place. Yeah, right now it should work. Okay, we added some harmonics, and I think you can already hear some kind of wobbling effect, right? And this is interesting because yeah, this wobbling effect basically it's caused by some kind of phase cancellation effect. So we're using sawtooth wave, and we slightly detune them, and this kind of provides interesting effect of some waves. They kind of cancel each other out. They amplify each other, so it provides this kind of wobbling effect. And yes, and we'll apply some low pass filter. So the hill is kind of lower, and the filtering is also like one of the crucial parts of subtractive synthesis. I try to visualize how it works. So basically, you have some kind of cutoff frequency. In this case, this is low pass filter, which means hey, low frequencies pass, and we can like reduce the like higher frequencies, which kind of it's called attenuating. There are different filters, different kind of filters. We're just using this as an example, and I think
so. This is equalizer, right?
Kind of. Yeah, and there is also like a lot of other effects which I'm not going to use, but you will try to hear the difference or how sound changes as we apply different effects. For example, here is some recreation of reverb. We can also decide how much processed sound we want in this mix. That's what we call like wet signal and dry signal. Dry basically signal without any effects. Wet is there's some effects inside. And yeah, it sounds a little bit quiet. Maybe let's add a bit volume, but this also should be. Oh, I think I need to uncomment this. So basically, I will just uncomment everything. But yeah, I just forgot to add some things right here. Some harmonics here. Some equalizer here, and yeah, I think that's it for. Yeah, it's good enough. I think we can stop here with super collider. Yeah, and you might notice that this process is pretty tedious and it's pretty verbose. But how about creating sound? I mean, like creating rhythm, because 99% of the cases we don't have music without rhythm. And again, why I'm using Flock right now is because of it provides different tools inside. And for it, we will use Strudel. This is JavaScript library built on top of tidal cycles, which is implemented in Haskell. So I won't be going much into details about this. Maybe we'll just, here's what we will have in the setup. But instead of looking at this, maybe let's just try to hear how it sounds. I also have some prepared parts, and maybe we can just spend the last minutes trying to see how it's can make the sound. Okay, and I need a little bit of additional super collider things here. Yeah, there are a little bit of more synths. There are also some kind of sampling technique. I won't be going into details because we already like kind of running short of time, but we can talk after presentation. So yeah, let's try to build some sound from it. We can maybe start from again from some drums. Yeah, so basically in Strudel, you can use samples stored on GitHub remotely because it's executed. It uses Web Audio API in this case. And again, we can use open sound control messages to communicate with our super collider synthesizers. There is some sampling approach which I used, which basically we sliced some sample of people playing drums with their hands. Maybe let's add a bit of form for this. Something like this, some pitch here, just like a little bit like bring some more like rhythm. And really cool thing is that we actually can use MIDI. And right here, I have Ableton Live, which is one of the most popular DAWs, or digital audio workstations. Try to do it a bit louder. Yeah, basically we use our Strudel instance as a MIDI controller. And yeah, the last thing which I wanted to add is some vocal effects, which basically just also slicing some samples and just play them in different form. And we have a little bit of, I don't know if we have time. How much time do we have?
You have 10 whole minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm kind of rushing right now.
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Considering I did some kind of debugging, it's not that bad. Yeah. Let's a little bit about the percussions which you hear. So this is essentially the original. Mute it for a second. Original sample which I used for this. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But this approach is widely used in some kind of this kind of percussion sound. And I'm not actually cropping this manually. I'm using so-called Flucoma tools, which provides a set of super collider implementation in order to work with code. And the approach here is that we essentially cropping this sample. I have this on my screen here. Let me just bring it. Yeah, let me bring it to the screen so you can see. Essentially, we're just trying to find adjacent samples. Yeah, here it is. This is a screen from a Super Collider IDE. So we kind of looking for the energy difference during the sample, and there we kind of provide those slices. And then we can play them in different, by passing index in different order. And for that, essentially, we are using custom parameters, which is right here. So this works on top of Open Sound Control protocol, which is pretty powerful. You can define like whatever you want, and in the Super Collider, you can listen for all SC messages and process them as you want. I think I should have it. It should called ordered index. Yeah, here it is. So this is kind of custom defined argument for SynthDef, and look at SynthDef as kind of class or blueprint for your synthesizer, and you can define many of them. And inside you will be using some kind of internal Super Collider term unit generator, which basically kind of produces basic sounds for us. There are like really many of them. Fortunately, Super Collider has really nice documentation, and inside IDE, so check them out. Check all these unit generators by yourself. But I guess I will have like 5 minutes, I guess. Probably. Not really tracking time right now.
Essentially, the length of your talk depends on how soon the pizza arrives.
Oh, okay. So we can play a bit with AI, finally. As I mentioned, AI, we won't be using AI to just generate sound from text. Instead, we'll use, this was just my idea. What if I would just add some chat here, and I'll just ask Claude in this case, hey, give me some pattern because I run out of ideas. And because this is Flock and this is just web application, I decided to fork it, of course, just for to prototype this thing and to talk to Claude a little bit. So for that, I'll need to add a new pane. And here, and I will pick chat. Yeah, I was trying to work with Quen locally, but it doesn't produce nice output. So instead, I use Claude. There's also some kind of system prompt, which also can be modified. It's also not that really great right now, but at least it can produce some interesting response. Let me scroll down to some generated prompts, because why not? So I think we're lacking a little bit of melody right now, so maybe we can first I don't know, we use this. I'll just copy paste, and I hope Cloud is not it works. Oh yeah, cool. It already sees there's some super soul sign dev. Basically, I created a custom tool that calls Super Collider server to get currently available SynthDef in it on the server. I'm not sure if I can see the output here, but anyway. Again, this tool works on open source sound control. So we can just apply to Super Collider, and it automatically puts this generated code right here. Super soft. That's problem right now is that I need to avoid having empty lines in order to execute it as a whole block. Okay, and maybe let's use it in a way, I don't know, a simple formality is lit in A major, because I think these vocals are in A major. For strudel, I actually use context 7 because I just going to get some documentation, some examples from internet, and let's apply to strudel. And the one thing we need to do is, because we're using super quality server, we need to send open sound message. Let's see how it works. Can you hear it? Not really can hear it, maybe. Not the best
It's
result.
not. It's the wrong scale.
Scale. Actually, what we can do is we can actually. Sound itself not really pleasant, I would say. Let's just. And what we can do is we can just use the steps of the scale. So we can say scale A. And I think this should be. Cut off. No what?
I think you should lower down the sound because we can't hear you.
Sorry. Sound. Unfortunately, I cannot control it fully. So yeah. Maybe let's generate a different synth.
Oh, now it's better.
Okay. I'm just talking to myself. Okay.
Now, nice party at the audience.
You know what? Let's add something interesting. Let's add another pane. Not music pane, but let's use Hydra. And I also have some prompt here. And I think I made this agent in a way that also understands the Hydra language. So maybe let's see what we can make with this. So we need to hit the cam. Oh my god. Is that me?
Oh, I see.
Oh, I apologize for it. Yeah. You can see basically there's my head over there. Yeah. Maybe let's ask him make it fix it. Yeah. Fix it.
I would prefer that cat going from the window to window.
Okay, apply to here. Let's see. And we need to remove this. Live coding is fun. And okay, anyway, this is a short thing about this ball, which is pretty powerful live coding tool. And as you can see, you can use not only sound but also some visuals. So yeah, just to sum up, yeah, we had demo. It's like kind of this complicated setup which I had locally. So yeah, you can check it on the repository. And yeah, that's it from me. This was pretty intense because it's live coding, but I hope you took something from it.
That was awesome. That's the perfect first talk of the year. So
I hope so.
I think you
Yeah.
nailed it. Okay. Questions? Do we have questions?
How do you route MIDI to Ableton Live?
So essentially, this works like inter-application communication.
Okay.
You see, so in Strudel, you need to define. I think it works like it just tries to find available. Maybe let me check the setup here. So at least I know how to do this on Mac.
I'm on a Mac, so
Yeah, so in fact, you'll need to go to, I guess it's called MIDI Studio.
okay.
Yeah, and you define some ESC driver, which you can basically later see. It has synth.
Okay.
Yeah, and inside Ableton, you can find it here. So basically, you just like Strudel sends the MIDI, Ableton kind of takes them and plays as, uses it as a MIDI controller, which is pretty cool. You can define different tracks. You can select different like MIDI routes, and you can actually play with different sounds.
The Strudel also works the other way around. Can I send a MIDI?
To Strudel?
Yeah.
Strudel? I think so. I was not looking into this, but I think you can do this.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have this icon here, and I guess you can also accept some MIDI.
Yeah. To browser, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
I guess we have time for one more question because pizza is getting cold. But yes, you know what? No, I'm gonna do it because it's fine.
My question is, thank you for your presentation. My question is, should I finish the music school first?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Lots of
that's actually. First of all, maybe I will think about making this agent land somewhere in the Flock repository. I'm not sure, but for Strudel, I would say like if you want to try out this thing, there are a lot of learning materials, not really tied to music like theory, let's say, because I'm not a musician at all. I saw some like kind of online tutorials, but in terms of live coding, I think Strudel is perfect because you can basically, it's really pattern oriented thing, and as you get some sequence, some rhythm, because rhythm is, I think, is more important than melody. Without rhythm, it sounds experimental. And then you can use this approach, which I'm not sure it worked in the demo, but you can basically say, hey, I want this scale, and you just put 0, 2, 3, which basically means like step in this scale, and Strudel will automatically pick the right note for you. You can basically experiment with this. And, yeah, it's kind of a quick way of doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Circus has changed. Pizza is not here, so yeah, we basically everyone ask questions. Yes.
So I assume that on the left side we have the pianist, and on the right side we have the instrument or the piano. No, like not the flute,
In the
but-
previous setup where
Yeah.
you had the
yeah. Okay, now we have
Yeah,
cut.
yeah. So the order of paints this is not like
Okay,
standard.
but when we were demonstrating this, I know now there.
Yeah. Let me try to. I think because the code is probably stored in local storage. So if I add pane and pick remote SC-lang. No, unfortunately, I don't see my previous code here, but essentially on the left right now is Strudel, which is kind of pattern. As I mentioned, it's pattern oriented.
Yes, and my question is, are we able to export this left side to Ableton?
What do you mean by export it?
I would like, because this is actually this music which you presented is actually ear catching. And would we be able to hear this from Ableton? Because I know that now we are using Ableton just for forwarding this from MIDI driver. But would we be able to export this to save this as a Ableton project?
You should.
You have to recreate it from.
I'm not sure if it's possible by default, but you can probably write some Max plugin. I mean, like, and I think you can, in fact, put some put some code inside, and it will play in some way. But this is again, it's just like right now. I have no idea how to do this. I would assume you could just like make all the. Because it's not like really complex, and a lot of the things basically based on samples. So you can use the same samples from Ableton and just route the patterns using MIDI, and yeah. But again, you will be kind of dependent on this code, right?
So it would be easier just to recreate it from scratch in Ableton.
In Ableton, you can actually record MIDIs as soon as they get into Ableton, and you just record them. And
So
okay,
so you could technically just send MIDI input from this to Ableton, and Ableton press record to record the MIDI. That's why I asked, can you send a MIDI to Ableton? How you send a MIDI to Ableton?
Okay. Yes. My next question was that whether would it be possible to have all of the configuration of those like loops configured in Ableton? But I think that this is
not by default, but I guess you could. Yeah, let me try to. Actually, haven't tried this, but I will just try to record this.
And I also wanted to ask you, what do you think about the Reaper?
What?
Reaper.
Reaper.
Yes, open. I don't even know whether it's open, but it's like alternative to Ableton.
Never use it basically.
Okay.
Ableton is I thought it works for me. So again, there's a lot of tools out there. Some of them free. Many of them, like I think, like the idea they provide mostly the same.
Reaper is no longer open source. They switched.
Yes, that's why I stepped back.
You could
You can say like we just recorded this as MIDI.
Any more questions?
What did you use to do these fancy animations for the presentation?
I use Manim. If you ever watched 3Blue
On Brown.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he uses the Manim animations, which basically renders you video, and it's open sourced, and it's really cool stuff. But I kind of wipe coded some of these animations, and then also like I realized how important it's sometimes just to go in step by step instead of giving something and like trying, hey, can you do this? Because it can't. You just hey, let's add this block, let's like move it a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
Can we listen to the sound from the beginning that they play?
from the beginning.
Yeah, the code as sound. The first like example.
Unfortunately, now it actually pizza is here. And,
It's not a joke now.
yes, it's not a joke now. It's not a drill. It's a real pizza alert. But remember, all the speakers are always here. Hello. Probably always here, unless they decide to leave. But as long as they're here, please approach the speakers, and you can mingle in everywhere and talk about stuff. Because you're probably tired of standing at this point, and maybe you're hungry as well. And so, okay, one last round of applause.